really well with a control priest. So maybe he's taken inspiration from that. He does have good cards in the matchup. Cabal Shadow Priest has a lot of good targets against Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, definitely.
he can go late game with the best of them. The problem is the Warrior is probably favored if it goes to a Fatigue War, if he can amass a bunch of armor, which with a hand like this, he probably can. Smith picks up armor blocks as well.
Well, decent starting hand for Ek0p.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's the wait and see approach of what it is. And with Pyromancer in hand, this does seem to lean towards the control aspect of the priest. You have Pyromancer for the clears. You're more likely to run cards like Holy Smite or whatever ways you can get
Yeah.
early spells. So it seems like this is a good start for Gaara. Getting the priestess out early and get some draws to threaten whatever small minion comes out.
Yeah, for sure. Coining up the Acolyte here is only academic. Both players will be able to draw cards in future turns with their minions in play. And it's good to get your Acolyte value early before turn 6 because without the threat of Cabal, it's just best to get as many draws as you can. Even though this is a game that might go to fatigue, it's just best to get your draws in.
Ooh, Fiery War Axe. So it's he can combine it to kill off his Northshire Cleric. It is a little clunky though. I mean, I think you're content with still drawing. See what you get.
Yeah, for sure. Depending on how highly he values his opponent not drawing, he can execute that.
Wow.
Denying card draw is very important in control versus control.
Absolutely, for sure. So because then you get the advantage of lining your removals and being able to play threats and outgassing your opponent.
Yeah. Equipping the War Axe here is probably his best line of play. It gives him the most mana for the next turn.
Yeah, assuming your opponent plays a reasonable sized threat, you're able to use the War Axe plus like the two other cards that you're able to use, like this cool Taskmaster and Slam.
Yeah, it just opens up a lot of options. Going on 4 mana for Gaara, he doesn't really have a clear-cut play. Akanai is challenged already by the War Axe.
Ooh, well, it's an easy clear here and cycle. Warrior's getting through so many of his cards and removing efficiently. That's what he needs to do. This is a great start for Ek0p.
Yeah, this is a wonderful start. Now I can just play his unstable ghoul that he wanted to play anyway.
With shield block in hand. Oh, continue.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying, with shield block in hand, a lot of people are wondering maybe why not use the opportunity to build armor throughout the turns. But with shield block in hand, you feel like you can answer pretty much any threat as long as you have shield slam. And you don't even have shield slam, so you might be building to something that might not happen.
If he heals this Acolyte, he is telegraphing his Cabal like crazy.
Yes.
I think even by hovering over it, he telegraphed the Cabal.
Yeah, that is an interesting bluff too. If you just pretend that you have and you don't, he just goes for it. So how does Ek0p respond? Says, oh, well, better be careful. Do I even use my cool Taskmaster to put it outside of the range so that way he can't get it? Do you not even care that he takes his 1/3?
I would play the Taskmaster. You get an extra card off it. You get an extra card off it too.
Yeah.
And then your opponent is forced to take the 1/3, which will trigger the Acolyte again.
Oh gosh. There is such thing as too many draws too.
No. No,
I know like players like Amaz, he likes making Warrior overdraw with like healing acolytes and stuff in the late stages of the game.
Yeah,
but not in this scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, shield block Taskmaster is his best line of play here. Unless he wants to just armor up, which is also fine. You can make a case for armoring up, but just playing the shield block is probably best. It gets clunky cards out of your hand, and there's nothing challenging your armor, so you can just continue to build it up.
Wow, he's got Gromash and Alex Strazo as well.
Two very important cards in the matchup.
As if it's not tantalizing enough, Gaara gets a second Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a card that's always going to be good at some stages in the game. So it's not a bad card to pick up per se. But he's definitely going to play the one he had before as the not telegraph that he drew another one. He kind of wants to just play it now so his opponent will play into the second one later. He can easily clear everything with what's on board as well.
Yep, Fiery War Axe. Use the minions to trade. And just continue to collect value. Just look at how much he's been able to get mileage off of these early game cards. And at the same time, there's no board from Priest. And it's going to be difficult for him to try and answer some of these huge threats.
That Acolyte drew 4 cards, man.
1, 2, 3, yeah. And it might even draw more.
Yeah.
This is bad news for Gaara. How do you kind of answer this now?
You just play the other Cabal.
Let me change your mind.
It's the best thing you can do in your hand for 6 mana as well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's not even the greatest. You can just easily clear this again.
Yep. Use Fiery War Axe. Play the Sludge Belcher.
Could even hit 5 to the face. Continue to pressure your opponent. You've got the Grom in your hand. Getting your opponent to 15, possibly 10, if you can get another hit in with this Lotheb the next turn. You're very close to finding lethal.
This Acolyte has drawn
5.
more than a Buzzard would. 5 cards.
Acolyte, please.
Nerf Acolyte. Start the campaign. Let Ben Brody know.
Let Rails know.
Yes. There's like this thread that was started about the Buzzard and Leroy being nerfed, and someone says, "Oh my God, Reels is really there fighting for us." It's like, dude, he didn't even start yet at Blizzard. And I was like, I don't care. Reels for president.
Reels for president. I can get behind this.
Sounds good. All right, well, Gaara can climb back with Thought Steal, but a lot of the cards that he would like to take are sitting in the hand of Warrior, which make it ineligible for stealing here.
I think Black Knight for sure coming down this turn. This is like one of the only taunts.
None shall
Black Knight, get some mileage, heal your creature, or your minion rather. Now back over to Ek0p, he's got a lot of ways to think about how he wants to impact the board. He draws into Cairn. Oh my. Well. That's a pretty good draw.
I think the best play is if you play the Unstable Ghoul. It already challenges the Taskmaster, and he would have to kill it with the Black Knight anyway, and then he can continue to get in face damage with the Lotheb. He has Ragnaros, and he's challenging 9 damage the next turn. And if he challenges an extra 9 damage next turn, he's also got Grom for 4 charge in his hand. And it also makes top decking Death's Bite or another Taskmaster within the next 2 turns lethal as well.
That's true. I just like the stability that Cairn presents, not to mention that it's before mind control. So you're coming up on turns where you can get a good presence. Not to mention, if you can't even kill off this 1/3, you might somehow find a way to pop it and then activate Gromash for a kill anyways. Mm-hmm. So this is a good position for Ek0p to be in. Gaara's in hot water.
Yeah. I like attacking face with the Lotheb there, because now if he kills off the Unstable Ghoul, it'll just kill off the Lotheb as well.
right, well, Gaara's gonna go for Thought Steal and do his best to steal something of value. Gets what looks to be Sludge Belcher and Shield Block. Okay-ish cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is... Can you end the game here? Oh, actually,
No.
you're just a little bit short.
If he did keep his Loatheb alive, his opponent would be at a lot lower. He would be at 10, and then he would have what looks like
It's
would have
one
been
damage
9
off right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. The one attack from the Unstable Ghoul, trolling his opponent.
Yeah.
What now?
I think he can get away with playing the Grom here.
Doesn't seem like too bad of a scenario. Put your opponent at 1 health. It's not like Priest players are playing Alex Strasser last time I checked.
Nope. And you can't thought steal it because it's in your hand.
Absolutely. Well, Gaara's got 1 life. He still can rebound a little bit of it, but the bigger picture, how do you deal with Grommash without Shadow or Death?
The short of it, you don't.
Well, Thought Steal Execute. Or you try to cycle.
He's got 2 cards that can draw in his hand, 3 if he chooses to heal with the cleric, but he needs to make sure that he has enough mana to use the death or the execute. I think you just start off with the Power Word Shield.
Yeah,
Try
it's the
and-
cheapest. Might give you the direct option. Holy fire.
It's a blank.
Yep. I mean, it kills off the Grom, but
Even if he opts to kill off the Grom with it and the Spellbreaker, he still takes 4 damage from the Cairn, and then the Ragnaros would be lethal.
right. But this is not something that he knows.
No.
For all he knows, he just needs to survive a little bit longer, and he is going for Holy Fire, which means that the Ragnaros will be the killer. You go up to 11 health, and the 12 damage is too much. So Gaara is going to drop 0-3. Ek0p off to 1 game away, and already this is such a quick grand final so far. He's looking at sweeping his opponent 4-0.
Good old warrior man.
Yeah, Warrior's not bad. Gaara's gonna have to 4-0 with Hunter.
Kit Kats did not lie today, man. Good old warrior.
Kit Kat's one of those players who says Warrior can beat anything.
Yep.
Absolutely right.